Energy weather report, opportunities ahead. Are you ready? I love that old quote, and hopefully I won't mess it up. But luck is where preparation meets opportunity. Sometimes I get dyslexic when I say those things, but I really feel that this week there's an energy and a vibe around get ready, prepare yourself so when the opportunity arises, you can jump on it. I'm very excited, and we're going to dive into why that is, the Astro events coming up to support that. But first, let's start out with a reading for the week. Go ahead and place your hand on your heart and tune in and ask, what is the most important thing that you need to know right now? Okay. Oh, goodness. Page of Pentacles. And Page of Pentacles came out upside down when I pulled it. Now, the thing about reversed cards or upside down cards is that it's the same energy as right side up. It's just something's blocking it a little bit. And Page of Pentacles represents something that your heart is very loyal to, something that maybe you want to learn more about, something that you have been even dedicating yourself to. And there's a little bit of a block. So this week, I want to invite you to tune in and ask yourself, have there been areas in your life where you've been really working hard and striving to make it work? Hello, Emily. Hooray. I'm so glad you're able to join live. This is fantastic. So with this card, I want to invite you to know that if you have been struggling, if you have been pushing against an obstacle, maybe you've been trying to get into a class or a course or study with a particular teacher, or, you're looking for a new job, or it really, I keep going back to that student energy where we become students, where we're learning. Maybe you've been researching something, student, because it's Page of Pentacles. Maybe you've been trying to learn about something, expand your education. But if you have been running into those blocks, then take a moment to step back, to evaluate. I'm going to just change this here because I see, oh, hey, Julie, so glad to have you. I was blocking my little comments. I want to invite you to reassess, because this week, as we look at the lunar phases, it's a time for refinement. It's a time to make decisions. It's a time to say, if it hasn't been working, I need to rethink this. We're still in Mercury retrograde, or we're almost out of it, but Mercury retrograde means refining, rethinking, reviewing, redoing, re-examining, and it's in Aries. So it's really looking at what is good for you. It shouldn't be this hard. And if it has been extremely hard and you keep running into one obstacle after another, take a moment to evaluate. Okay. And so I'm going to just ask as well, what actions might you be able to take in order to kind of be able to move forward from that block? Justice. So that's a true inner reflection. If it's not in integrity with your heart, it's time to reassess. That energy of justice means we can't rob Peter to pay Paul. If you speed, you're going to get the speeding ticket. If you cheat on the test, you're going to get caught. So not to try to pull one over on yourself, but to be really fair and just with yourself, and kind and compassionate. Because, and let's see, where are we? Yeah, the moon's still in Cancer. I've been planning for the next week ahead, but the moon in Cancer is about compassion. Don't be hard on yourself, because sometimes we look back at where we've placed a lot of energy, resources, time, money, and we're like, oh my gosh, I thought it was going to work. And if it didn't, be kind and compassionate to yourself. And something that I think is very healing that we don't always do, I had an incredible opportunity to be at a large Body, Mind, Spirit festival this weekend and do readings for so many wonderful people. And one person who came into my booth, I suggested to her to have basically a moment to memorialize something that had happened in her life. So for example, let's say you had a project that you were trying to birth into this world and it just didn't happen. You tried and you tried, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to just have some compassion for myself, and I'm going to just say goodbye to this project. Maybe it's just for now, maybe pick it up later, but to release the energy from that so new things can be birthed. Otherwise, that impedes the next project, that impedes the next moment of success. You can have almost like a little memorial service where, you just honor and respect all of the energy you poured into it, the good times, the bad times. You tell yourself stories and you release. And you can associate that with a lot of different rituals. And if you have want more ideas on that, then reach out to me. But in the meantime, let's get into this week. Very, very excited. Okay, so I love it when you guys join me live because it's so much fun. It's like a party. But what I love to do here, what we do is moon mapping. And if you're brand new here, the idea is that why moon mapping? Well, the moon shows us how we're responding on an emotional level day to day. It represents our daily routines. It helps us tune into our intuition, our feelings. And when you know where the moon is currently, like where is it in the heavens above, you can access the energy it provides so that you're not going against the grain, kind of trying to swim upstream against the current. The idea is we want to swim with the current, with the energy of the moon, so that we can create the life of our dreams. We can get our projects done. We don't feel like we're fighting against the tides quite as much. So with that said, know that you also have a natal moon, where the moon was when you were born, and that can affect things. There's an overarching general idea of like what a moon means, like in each zodiac sign, what a moon in Cancer, a moon in Aries, a moon in Taurus, and so on and so forth. But it might affect you differently. And that's why I love to do the moon mapping. And I use my moon journal inside of the moon journal. And if you haven't gotten one yet, do. I should say, why not? They're so much fun. A lot of fun sharing this at the festival this weekend too. So this week, we're going to just first jump into the week, and then I'll bring in the sacred rituals. This week, I'm really encouraging everybody to look for the opportunities ahead. So I set an intention. Now, why look for the opportunities? Well, at the end of this week, Saturday night into Sunday, kind of depending on your time zone, but generally speaking, that energy from Saturday to Sunday, and you're going to feel it beforehand. You have two big, beautiful planets up in the heavens coming together, doing what they call a conjunction. It's like they give each other a hug or a kiss, and they amplify one another's energy. So you've got the planet of growth, expansion, good luck, benevolence coming together with the planet of innovation, creativity, spontaneity, surprise. And all planets have a high vibrational way of expressing themselves and a low vibrational way. So ideally, we're going to tune into the high vibe, which is Jupiter's good luck, good fortune, abundance, prosperity, growth, expansion, and innovativeness, curiosity, spontaneity with Uranus. Now, if we were, let's say, tuning into the lower vibe of that, Jupiter is growth and expansion. And growth and expansion of, let's say, investments are fantastic, but growth and expansion of, you know, trying to think of something that's, of an illness or of a particular weed in your yard that you weren't fond of, that's a little frustrating. And then Uranus can sometimes represent on a lower vibration anxiety, restlessness. It can be chaos. That surprise just doesn't feel good because it takes us by surprise, kind of from left field. So we want to tune into the high vibration of that. So what can you do? That's what we're going to talk about this week, the sacred rituals and practices to keep your vibration high, to look for the opportunities so that you can engage with the higher vibrational aspects of Jupiter and Uranus. So I feel there are a lot of opportunities this week, doors opening. So prepare. And again, with the card reading, if something hasn't been working for you and you keep pouring time and energy and money into it, and it's gonna distract you. It's gonna take up a space that doesn't allow you to be ready for the opportunity that would come in. It's like, oh, I would love to attend that event, but I'm still working on ABC XYZ. I can't go. So I just want you to be aware, review it, refine it. So top 3 things. I'm going to go into this first. Write down your hopes and wishes. So these are my top 3 things for this week. You can write your top 3 things, but I'd love to share what I'm doing in case it might inspire you or help guide you if you're first beginning with this and not sure where to go. Why 3 things? I definitely have shiny object syndrome and can get distracted. So this helps anchor me during the week. This can be personal, it can be work, it can be spiritual, it can just be high level overarching, or it can be very detailed, like pack for the next conference. I'm getting ready to go support a client in Vegas. It could be send out those emails, whatever, right? But for me, write down hopes and wishes. Why? Because that's going to help me realign the goal of like the Page of Pentacles, essentially. Am I on the right track? Because what might have felt like the right track a month ago, 10 months ago, a year ago, something might have shifted and it may no longer represent the right track. So hopes and wishes will help me tune into that. The other thing is balance. balance and managing time. I have a tendency to lose track of time. I get lost in my work. I love to connect with people, and I'm definitely in a time crunch these next couple of weeks. So if I kind of mismanage my time, that would be a place where I could miss a really incredible opportunity. And I don't want to do that. So I'm going to do my best to manage my time and try to be very succinct with this too. Crystal, red jasper. I'm still working with that crystal for tenacity, perseverance, creativity, tapping into that innate, you've got the strength to accomplish the dreams you're setting out for. The ritual. Now, if you're looking for ideas on rituals, at the beginning of each month, and this is a dateless book, so you can stop and start wherever you want. These are suggestions, but again, why ritual? Well, ritual helps provide a consistency, and it's a daily routine, so that helps get you out of fight or flight syndrome. You have something that you know that you're going to do every day. It's expected. The practices bring a peacefulness and a calm. They make energetic shifts for you, strengthening your intuition, clearing energetic blocks, and help you tune into spirit so you can speak the language of intuition more and more. So, suggestions. But I always have a mudra mantra and a meditation. So I'm really going to be working with the mudra, Agni Mudra this week, which looks like this. You take your left hand and your right hand, thumb up, right hand into left palm. It's kind of like a lighter. And you just hold it by the lower belly. And you can take a few deep breaths. And what that's meant to do is start to get the fire going within your core, to release any blocks around the root chakra, around the second chakra, so that, again, those are the creative energy centers, the centers where you feel safe enough to be bold and to bring something big into this world. And then how will I feed my spirit? That's so important so you don't feel drained and exhausted as empathic, curious seekers. Oh my gosh, sometimes if we're not grounded, if we're not practicing our good energetic hygiene and strengthening our auric field, we pick up so much that it drains the life out of us, and we don't have the energy then for when the opportunities present themselves. Holy cannoli. It all kind of fits. Okay, into the week. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the phase of the moon, because I want to try to make this easy for you to understand. First thing we do is observe. Where's the phase of the moon? What's happening? Then what we'll do is we'll jump into the zodiac sign, where it is, how you can harness the energy of it, and then I'll pull a card. And I think I'm going to pull a card for each one as I go. That way you don't have to kind of go back and forth. Try to make this a little bit easier. So as you tune in, you can get the information and then run with it. So this week, today we start off with a first quarter moon, which is all about making decisions. And I love to just look at the phase of the moon. Even if you were to just do that and not worry about anything else, you're going to get so much information and data. And that's the point of moon mapping. Collect the data so you've got something tangible you can look back on and you can say, oh my gosh, when the moon is in Cancer, I am more sensitive. Okay, so I just have to protect my feelings a little bit more during that time and know that I'm sensitive. And that makes a world of difference. That's what I did this weekend because the moon went into Cancer on Saturday. And I felt myself so sensitive. I felt myself taking things personally. And I thought, okay, I'm aware of it. So what I'm going to do is I'll do extra grounding. I'll be extra compassionate to myself. And it made a world of difference. Then I didn't come home from the festival thinking, oh no, they hated me, or I said something that didn't sit well, or I wasn't blah, 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 or they gave me a dirty look, or whatever it might be. So first quarter moon, it's time to make decisions. Use today to look ahead at the next couple of weeks and assess, reassess. Are these projects still working for me? Am I on the right path? Then the moon for the rest of the week is going to be moving into a waxing gibbous phase. So it's growing. It's growing from the new moon solar eclipse energy, where maybe you set some intentions and you're being encouraged to refine your actions. So when the moon grows, it's a chance to kind of tweak things. You might have set an intention. Maybe you're looking at that project that you're reassessing. And you're saying, okay, well, maybe I don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Maybe I just need to tweak a few things here and there in order to make it work for me. And that can work too. But just kind of playing with the dials almost, playing with the resources, the input to see if that can change the experience. That's the overarching energy of the week. And it brings us into the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, of that great Jupiter Uranus conjunction. So let's look at each day. And with each day, I'm going to pull a card so that you can get some extra insights. Hello, Hannah. Oh, so good to see you. Yay. Oh, and I got it up there on the screen. Very cool. I didn't even know I could do that. Okay. I'm clicking all the buttons. It was funny. I couldn't see the comment, and so I clicked it, and up it popped. So great to have you guys join me live. I really love it when you can do this. Now, next week, it's going to be the 22nd. I will have a pre-recorded video, and then I'll be back live again after that. But I'm going out of town to support a client. I'm going to be the energy alchemist for an incredible event in Vegas. And so I have to pre-record the next one. Here goes. So Monday today, the moon is in Cancer. You might feel a little extra sensitive. Take time to watch your feelings. Maybe don't go out of your way to have conversations like with the mean neighbor or difficult conversations. If you have to have them, then ground yourself, protect yourself, put yourself in a golden bubble of light. That's an energy of neutrality. And we'll say, how can you make the most of this Monday energy as well? Oops, popping out. Hello. Let's grab this guy. Ooh, 6th house, sustainability. So that's routine. Routine is really going to help you today. So if you've been feeling extra sensitive, extra emotional, go to your ritual, go to your practice, go to the routine. Make sure you take care of your health. That's very important. Drink your water. If you have a job where you sit a lot or you're on your feet a lot, make sure you balance that, manage your energy so that you're not exhausted by the end of the day. Because the goal this week is to really how do I want to say, not maintain your energy, but angels, what word would be best? But really cultivate your energy so that you're ready for when the opportunity presents itself. You're not like, oh, I'm so exhausted. I don't have it in me. Like you might get a last minute call. Come on this adventure with me. I've got an extra ticket. You're like, oh, the concert sounds great, but I'm exhausted. Or come to this conference. Okay. Tuesday's energy. The moon moves into Leo. And as you move into Leo energy, Leo is about stepping into your confidence. It is about being playful. It is stepping into a role of leadership. And with the energy this week, I want to invite you to really harness the energy of confidence. Confidence that you have it in yourself to achieve your dream. And confidence to also recognize if maybe something's gotten off track and it needs to be refined or released. And know confidently that the next opportunity is waiting right around the corner. Sometimes it's a balance. It's kind of like, hello, Blissful Oracle. So great to see you. Thanks for coming this weekend to visit me. It was such an honor. With this Tuesday's energy, what I invite you to do is tap into that confidence. And we're going to ask, what's the most important thing that you need to know about Tuesday? Solar flares activate. So for this energy, what I'm going to encourage you to do with that Leo is to be bold, to step into that role of leadership and step into that role of confidence. And know that if you decide to make a change or shift on something that hasn't been working, you've been butting your head up against it again and again and again, trying to make it work. If it hasn't been working, what I encourage you to do is be bold and be confident in making the refinement or making the adjustment. And at the same time, compassionate towards yourself, knowing that things change and shift and it's okay to release something or to refine it. And that when you do, the next opportunity will have an easier time of presenting itself. It's kind of like if we go around holding on so tightly to everything, our hands aren't open to receive that next gift. So there's that balance. We want to be smart. We want to be practical and pragmatic. It's not like, okay, jump before you have the next job, kind of thing. We want to take leaps of faith, but at the same time, it's a balance. And that this week is very much about, I'll say balance. I feel that. Okay, so Wednesday, moon still in Leo. How can you make the most of that Leo energy? Pisces, sensitize. Oh, I love this. Oh, I get chills. Partially because It's like when you are weighing something, especially if you have scales and you're like, okay, well, maybe if I move it over here a little bit. And this is interesting. I don't fly planes, but I've had many students who fly planes or their partners fly planes. And they were telling me a story once of, and it sounds so fun. It sounds so glamorous. They were like, oh, we wanted to go visit, someplace, let's say like Vegas. And so they thought, oh, okay, we'll just hop in the plane and we'll go. And it was like two couples going on this adventure. And so the guy who was flying the plane asked the woman who was traveling with her partner, what's your weight? And she lied about it. And in those little planes, you can't lie about your weight because you could crash. You have to balance everything out. So everybody arrived and the luggage arrived. They were getting ready to go on the trip. And he realized she lied about her weight. And he was like, oh, mother of God. So he had to move things around in the plane to balance out the weight distribution so they could fly. And that's kind of what Wednesday's energy feels like is, okay, let me move things around here a little bit. Maybe I took on too much over here and it's throwing me out of balance. Maybe the project that you're looking at refining, it's just grown, that scope creep where you're like, oh my God, like I thought this was going to be wrapped up by now. I have to do something to rebalance it. Maybe I need to delegate the work because I'm putting in too many hours and I'm out of balance. I need to sensitize myself. I need to tune into my intuition, have that time for your ritual. That's so important this week, the ritual. Why? Because it'll get you out of a state of fight or flight, which means you get out of fear and you move into a place where when you're making these decisions, it's from your heart. Because sometimes when we realize things haven't been working and we try to make that decision, it might be out of, a sense of hopelessness or out of a sense of fear or false urgency, appearing real, good old fear. But if you're in your heart space and the rituals will get you there, then you can be very confident in your decision making. And that's that Leo energy. So Thursday, we're still in the Leo energy. It'll move into Virgo during the day, and you might feel that. So excited for Virgo moons. So Thursday, so we're still riding in the beginning of the day, the Leo energy. And I want to just say this, the moon that I wake up to, that's the energetic tone that really sets the day for me. So if I wake up, let's say really late on Thursday morning for me, then it will feel like, okay, Virgo's more in charge, but I'll still notice when the moon goes into Virgo because that Virgo energy is analytical. It loves to organize. It's like, all right, let's get stuff done. I'm going to clean stuff up. I'm going to get all my paperwork settled and I'll be able to pack for this trip coming up, this conference. It's going to be fantastic. I love the Virgo moon. I get so much done. I'm focused and I just nose to the grindstone, go for it. So when I look at my week to plan, in the beginning of the week, I'm going to be a little bit more sensitive, a little bit more intuitive. So I'm easing into my week. I'm really listening to my feelings. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, and beginning of Thursday, I'll be confidently making some shifts in my business, most likely. And then Thursday, kind of like later in the morning and the rest of the day, and Friday, I am going to be riding that Virgo energy. Lots to plan. Okay, and how can you make the most of it? Mars! Love it. Take action. What does she say? Motion. So action. So put something into momentum. You might have been feeling into things on Monday. You might have confidently having been, hello, English. It's coming through so fast to say. You might have been reassessing and tapping into your confidence, what projects you needed to change. And then come that energy on Thursday, take some kind of action so that you show the universe that you're investing. It's kind of like you put skin in the game. Maybe there has been something that's been calling you to learn more about. Maybe there's a trip that you've wanted to take and you just decide, okay, I'm going to put some money down on this. I'm good. And you can always reserve your right to change your mind, but put some skin in the game. So if you were reassessing that project, maybe you're like, okay, I'm going to get ready to have that conversation. I'll schedule it on the calendar. Things like that can make a difference. Diane, good morning. Great to have you. Okay, so as we tune into Friday's energy, still in Virgo, getting stuff done, how can you make the most of Friday's energy? Okay, North Node, the future. Oh my goodness gracious, I'm all chills. The cool thing about this is that this is kind of like where the opportunity starts to present itself. The North Node is what we've come into this lifetime to achieve. This is what our soul is saying. I really want to work towards this goal. I want to develop this skill set. I want to bring this, it's like our calling or our mission. And the fact, all goosebumps, that we've been reassessing this week, we've been preparing for this new opportunity. It's like this Jupiter Uranus conjunction is opening the door for us to step into our calling, what we've been meant to do in this life. And, I go back to the unalome, and maybe you're familiar with the unalome, beautiful sacred pattern, but it starts as a spiral. And as it spirals, it goes up, and it's really becoming the pathway. And it goes into these little switchbacks of what the path we take in life. So in life, we spiral. It might feel like, we're circling back around to the same thing again. Like, oh my God, here I am again and again. But you're growing. It's different each time. And then you're like, wait, I get it. I know how to reach towards that moment of balance and harmony. I'm on track. This is what I'm meant to do. And then you're like, oops, I found out about this. And then you kind of like go back and forth, and you finally find the straightaway. And I feel like this Friday, this weekend, you're going to be able to have that blissful insight of the straightaway. So we have to be lined up for it, though. And I've got an analogy coming into my head, but it's almost kind of like, okay, maybe like this, like somebody's throwing a ball at you. And if you're standing over here and the ball lands right next to you, you're like, oh, I didn't catch it. So essentially the energy of this week is refine, sensitize, like move the weight around so you can be in the right place to catch the ball. Right? Eyes on the prize. Yeah, Friday's going to be exciting, Julie. Yay, Hannah. Okay. Saturday's energy, good old Libra. I love that we end with that balancing energy. Okay. Well, Saturday's still in Virgo. Holy cannoli. Sunday's Libra. Okay. So Saturday, how can you make the most of that beautiful Virgo moon? I'm going to pull two. Okay. Aquarius, collaborate. So the thing about this that really comes to mind is, let's say you've had an inspiration. Your North Node has called you. You're deciding to go for that calling, and you realize, oh my gosh, it takes a village. I can't do this on my own. Maybe there's somebody you need. Like, I think about when we run an idea through the chakras to figure out, is this doable? Is this something that I can actually birth and create? Or am I going to create a stumbling block for myself? Am I going to trip myself up and self-sabotage? And if you don't know my running the idea through the chakra thing, then reach out to me. But when the idea comes down to the solar plexus, the idea, the third chakra, a lot of times where we can sabotage ourselves is we don't have all the skills in order to make the dream come true. So let's say you want to start an online business selling homemade beautiful candles. I got this beautiful candle this weekend that I've got going. And you're like, oh, I'd love to do it, but I have no tech background. And so the dream kind of stops there. So collaborate, you reach out and you're like, okay, well, maybe I have a friend who's technical and I can either trade with them or swap with them or hire someone to build the website, to build, the Shopify or the Etsy store. And then the dream can keep moving, but it would otherwise get stuck in the solar plexus. So this is saying whatever insights you're gaining this week, Saturday, just think about, where might I trip myself up in this line of thought, in this co-creative moment, where I might not have access to the full resources to make the dream a reality. It's not that you have to hire the person now or figure them out or find them. Just take note. So for example, I was talking with an amazing woman doing a reading for her this weekend, and she's a diver. And I thought, oh, that sounds so amazing. I would love to learn diving and be able to do some of the adventures she was talking about. And maybe that's a dream that comes up this week. And a block might be for me, okay, well, gosh, where would I even find a diving instructor and the equipment and all that stuff? And the dream could stop because it'd be like, oh, it's too hard. Like, I don't know, it's inaccessible. It doesn't have to be that way. And Diane, you said you're planting your medicinal herbs this week. Yay. I'm working on plans for what you want to do when you grow up. Fantastic. I love it. I'm all goosebumps. And that's the thing, is that there's so much in life to experience, and we're constantly growing and evolving. And yeah, I consider it pivoting Okay, so Sunday's energy, Libra. So Libra, that balance, that harmony that we're seeking. Libra energy on Sunday. This comes up to share about Sunday. If you were around, let me say it this way, you might be more sensitive to conflict. If you have people fighting around you, or there's some tension or discord in some of the relationships around you, it might be a little uncomfortable. Libras can be the peacemakers, but they also don't like to be in conflict, and they'll avoid it at all costs. They have a tendency of seeing things from all sides, which enables them to really come to like those just decisions. That's why sometimes they're considered like the energy of the judge, justice, because they're trying to take all the stories into account. So if we look at the energy of this week, where you've been refining, you're figuring out if a current project is still in alignment with your hopes and wishes. Is it still supporting you as you go towards your North Node, what you're supposed to be when you grow up? Or is it needing that little bit of a tweak? Is it time to say goodbye? And Sunday might be a day when you just take a moment to see things from all sides. And what I really feel that that does is it gives you peace of mind in your decision processing, because sometimes when we only take one side of the story into account, we can feel an injustice. Like they said they were going to support me and they didn't. Or we could feel like I did my best and nobody else, showed up. Who knows, right? But it's a story we tell ourselves. Take a moment to see the story from the other person's point of view, from their shoes, and then allow yourself to move into a healing process. Because I think what happens is we only get one side of the story, and especially if it's just our experience, and it can just be a Debbie Downer, and it can hold us back from taking the next step forward. A lot of my clients, as they've been growing in their business, sometimes they're afraid. I've had a couple people who've gone from solopreneurs into building agency models where they hire a bunch of other people and they outsource the work. And they were hesitant to do that because they had been burned in the past. They didn't get the support, people let them down. And this is just a moment where you're getting ready to level up. It's a growth moment. And if there's been a moment in the past where it didn't work out, but you're being called to it again. So think of the spiral, you're coming around to it again, but you're different. You know things now. You've learned certain lessons. You've had certain life experiences. So don't discount it. See it from all sides before you make your decision. And Diane said, look at the big picture, reflect, and then make a choice. Exactly. Thank you. An eighth house, how to make the most of Sunday's energy. It's a day of transformation. So eighth house is being able to dive deep into the areas, chills, being able to dive deep into the areas that, how do I want to say, that a lot of people are afraid to look. It's taking a real look at our shadow side, as they would say it in the spiritual world, the places where we realize, this is how maybe I normally trip myself up every time I'm getting ready for growth or expansion, where I sabotage myself. Or this is a belief that I had, like, nobody will be there. I have to do everything by myself. That's a big one of mine. It's like, I have to do everything by myself. That independence. But it really holds you back in life. So take that moment to take a real deep look at your heart and see yourself. And that can make a difference in the healing of what's happened and the readiness to meet that opportunity to move forward. Because if that opportunity presented itself, like my one client, where she had an opportunity to create the agency, if she let the past experience hold her back, she wouldn't have gone for it. And luckily she did. And it's incredibly and wildly successful. So exciting. And yep, that so tracks. I'm so glad to hear it. Diane, I'm glad you like these cards. Spot on. And the energy is off the charts. Yay. It is. It's a really big week. So to kind of wrap up basically what I said, the energy of this week. Monday, protect your heart. Be a little more kind and compassionate to yourself with the moon in Cancer. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, tap into your confidence, that boldness, and step up as a leader in your own life. And then as you move into Friday and Saturday, get the work done. It's going to be great for just checking things off the box and feeling very accomplished. And Sunday, give yourself a moment to do the deeper work and look at the different sides of the story so that you can feel really good, feel at peace, and it can sit well with your soul, the decisions you make. Yay! So thank you so much for joining me live. It is just such a joy to have this time with you on Mondays. Couple things. Next week is going to be pre-recorded because I'm going to be out of town supporting a client and helping her with her big, beautiful event. I'm going to be the energy alchemist there. So I don't want to miss out on a week of energy though. And then I'll be live the following week. The other thing too, and I'm going to share my screen really quickly. I'm very excited about this. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can. I think I can share my screen. Okay, so if I do this, okay. Well, let me, part of the reason, let's see if I do add. Oops, no, hold on, cancel. Okay, I used to be able to do this. That's part of the reason I love using StreamYard. So if I do present, hold on, let me try this one more time because I just wanted to show you this. I did a moon mapping presentation, and the moon mapping presentation, I wanted to see if you guys were interested in also, well, I won't share it now because it's going to take me a moment to find it. But if you're interested in learning about like the moon manifesting with the lunar cycles and moon mapping, then let me know. Drop a little moon emoji in the comments because I was wonderfully excited to present this at the Body, Mind, Spirit Expo, but I wasn't able to use my slides. And I've got a lot of goodness in there with the energy recipe and the moon mapping. And I think it could really benefit you guys just to see it from this aspect, even though many of you are familiar with the process. And if that's something that you would like to have and experience, I'm going to put that together and I'll share it with you. Okay, yay. Okay, so you guys are interested. Fantastic. I just didn't, sometimes we feel like, oh, this is so exciting. I want to share this and just give this and do this. And then the rest of the world was like, why did you do that? I didn't want that. I always think about U2. Do you guys remember U2? Like when you got your new Apple, I don't know if it was a phone or something, they had pushed their record or a song onto everybody's phone. And it's like, we're gifting you our music. And people were so angry. They're like, we don't want that gift. So I just want to make sure that you guys are interested. Okay, very cool. It looks like you guys are. So keep your eyes open for that. If you're on my email list, you'll definitely get it. Because I'll be able to email you when it's ready. So if you're not on my email list, what I'm going to do is I know, yeah, poor you too. Oh my gosh. I'm going to put in the comments where you can get on my email list. And then you'll also get that audio file of the root flush fill. And yeah, I had to think about it for a second. I was like, what is that? I think that's it. Holy cannoli. I should double check. All right. If it's not it, I'll change it. Have an amazing day wherever you are. Have a fantastic week. And I can't wait to meet with you and play again. Lots of love. Mwah. Oh, hey. And if you're watching this on a platform where you can like it, love it, subscribe to it, I am so thankful. It helps bring this out to other people who could benefit from a weekly energy weather report and the beautiful, wonderful powers of mapping the moon. Mwah. Much love, everyone. Thanks for being here.